Hi guys, number one Marmaduke fan here, and we're looking at the True Believers release of Rocket Raccoon number one. I don't think I heard of Rocket Raccoon or the Guardians of the Galaxy ever before the MCU made that movie, unless there's a remote possibility I owned or read the Hulk comic that introduced Rocket Raccoon when I was a kid. I say remote because I had a lot of comics from that era, but I just have no childhood memories of Rocket Raccoon at all. About once a day, I kick myself right in the butt because I gave away all those Hulk comics. Oh, I had no idea that they were worth anything or that they were hard to find. I would just read them all the time as a kid and draw the Hulk. So anyway, I got sad and nostalgic about that. But this is really good. I was kind of prepping myself because I enjoyed the Guardians of the Galaxy movie, but I kind of like the street level Spider-Man Daredevil side of the Marvel universe. So I was prepping myself for like this is gonna be weird, and it was weird, but it's a good weird. It's a great weird. The weirdness of Rocket Raccoon is that it introduces an insane idea and it commits to the bit, meaning that it plays it straight. There's a lot of crazy little references and pop culture stuff and gags that are consistently amusing. But one of the ways this works is it doesn't say you're stupid for reading this. It's playing this crazy world as if it's semi-straight. So I just want to call attention to some things that kind of like warm up the comedy and then some interesting little references and things. And the other surprise is that Mike Mignola did the pencils on this. And I was reading it and I thought, okay, this is kind of interesting. And I thought, wait, that Mike Mignola? Yep, that Mike Mignola, who later did Hellboy and developed a really unique, interesting style. You know Mike Mignola's style the second you see it. But kind of early in this stages, he's kind of drawing in the standard 80s style. But I was noticing how fluid and kind of energetic everything looked. So it was just kind of interesting that I was admiring the artist and then found out it was a big deal kind of artist, actually. So number one is, the Space Wheel, a division of Oy Vaynelses Inc. So, oy vey! Even if you're an adult, you get that. But if you're a kid, everything is just sort of becoming consistently weird. And that owl, I bet that owl is a reference to the owl from The Secret Nim. He drew a boob! He drew a boob! And Gumby's down here, and a Rocket Raccoon is down here. Was there any else kind of like interesting little things? Okay, the Keystone Cops. They include like the Keystone Cops. The premise is, what if there was like a crazy Alice in Wonderland world, and later Rocket reveals that Hulk visited this world and escaped. So what I'm sure happened is Hulk visited this weird galaxy, everything was kind of crazy and Alice in Wonderland-y, and then Hulk got out, and that was his story. And then someone said, well, okay, what if we told a story within that crazy, kids' toy box insane asylum world? So this clown shows up, and he's kind of like from it, and he kills the toy maker, and he sings like Chim Chimney from is that from Mary Poppins? Yeah, so he sings Chim Chimney while killing a bunch of apes, and you can actually sing the lyrics in your head because they put some effort into the gag. The gag isn't just funny if he says, oh, that's from Mary Poppins. It's funny even if you don't know it's from Mary Poppins because he's singing in a little sing-song rhyme as he fights. Was that the alarm? Then I'd better leave quick before I come to harm. Too late, I'm surrounded, but I know what to do. Take a good look, chimps. Monkey see, monkey stew. It's weird. It's weird. And it doesn't have him stop and say, aren't you stupid for having read that? I love it. This rabbit named O'Hare shows up. Is this a reference to Bucky O'Hare? Bucky O'Hare debuted like 1 year before this, and he even seems to be drawing kind of a similar style. Okay, now this is where we actually get the credit. So, created by Bill Mantlo and Kath Griffin. Bill Mantlo wrote the story. Mike Mignola's on pencils. Al Gordon inks. The first time when I was flipping through it, I thought, I don't know if this works. It's kind of like you either got to go with cartoony animals, or you've got to go with realistic animals. I don't think it works when it's kind of in between. But I think Mike Mignola is just a talented enough artist that even though this doesn't fall into like the cartoony animal or realistic animal camp, he kind of manages to balance it. Like I like this drawing of like Lila, getting ready to jump in. It's kind of lyrical, right? Like there's a lot of you can follow the motion line. There's a lot of energy to that, and I like that Rocket Raccoon has just like this nice little romance with kind of a Maid Marian type girl. And the Keystone Cops show up. So the premise of this world is that it's populated by the loonies, and they're in an insane asylum. Their ancient gods are called the Shrinks, and the animal's job is to care for and entertain the loonies in this weird Keystone Cops universe. It's the animal's job to take care of them and entertain them, right? But there's also this economic war between two evil toy makers, and both of them are lusting after Lila because she, like Maid Marian, she's their key to inheriting like total control over the economy of this crazy world. I really love this panel. This is the one that explains that the first appearance of this was in Hulk 271. This has a faux gutter for no other reason, I think, than just to give the eye a break. So, he's flying his ship, the Raccoon, and he thinks about how there's, a division between the animal world and the robot world. And even this division, which starts up here, continues down here, animals, robots, and you read this way. And then there's just like a nice little visual panel with no words in it. So you just naturally come down to here. And this gutter goes down here, and then kind of, even though this is overlapping, you connect it to here and here. And then this goes out to here. But this gutter is contained within a box and splits this panel in half. Just, I think, to make it easier to read. So you kind of read this, and then you reference Hulk 271, and you go on. Now, you almost don't need that, but I think it just gives the eye like a nice break right there. So Rocket Raccoon, he's going to go into the depths of Mayhem Mechanus and arrest Jenkins, who is like he murdered Lila's parents apparently so he could take over the company. And they do this fun thing where that's there and this is here, and I think it looks redrawn. It doesn't look like a photocopy to me. Maybe he traced his own work, or they squashed it. I'm not sure. I think they redrew it actually, because it looks a tiny bit different. So it's a gag, right? They see the comic book panel on their telescreen. And Lila does some cool, action girl stuff where she's going to go after the creepy old guy who's trying to take, the half-world life. It's so weird, but it actually plays it kind of seriously, like a genuine action story. Like, Rocket's genuinely worried about his duty to protect the loonies and stop a war. He genuinely loves Lila. He's a sane man in a crazy world where he just has to entertain, these nutty kids. Here's another thing. So he's got this friend named Walrus, and Walrus is a mechanic who's kind of a pacifist, and he has these prosthetic tusks, and he can take off his tool tusks and put on weapon tusks, and he's just totally serious about it as he does this transition before blasting it. So it works as an action scene, right? Here's a character, he's peaceful, he realizes he has to go, put on some weapons and go to war, and then he does an actual cool action shot where he's blasting the robots with his walrus tusks. But his dialogue is ridiculous because it's campy, and they're not saying you're stupid just for reading this. I'm not going to sing it because I'm not going to subject you to that. I want you to hear this. Oh, I love to repair by the rocket's red glare. So kind of alludes to the national anthem to kind of cue you that this is a little weird. On the other flipper, there are times when a walrus of peace, such as myself, must set aside my tool tusks for more martial molars. No one has to tell me that I'm stupid for reading this. This is funny because it's sincere. They must have had so much fun writing that and drawing that. It's actually cool, this action scene. And so Rocket, has it out with the other bad guy. There's a trio of bad guys, and Lila is in danger and kidnapped and is going to be forced to marry the evil Snake. And Rocket's ticked off, his fur's really flying, and he's going to go save his lovely lady. Excellent. Make comics weird again. Make Star Wars weird again. I think comics deserve to be weird and experiment and go crazy. But you heard it when you add a little arbitrary, aren't you stupid, aren't we stupid, aren't all these characters stupid element to this. You kill the joke. Never point out the 800-pound gorilla. Rule of improv, rule of comics writing. That's it. I'm number one Marmaduke fan. Like, comment, subscribe, click the bell to receive notifications. Make sure you're still subscribed in case the evil robot animal overlords decide to delete your subscription. Thank you to the Super Chat donators. Thank you to the subscribers on Subscribestar. Thank you, commenters. I love you guys. And I will catch you later Oh my gosh, I'm 10 seconds away from a magic YouTube algorithm 10-minute video. I've got to stall for time. If your boy Zach can do it, I can do it too. There we go. 10 minutes. You're welcome, YouTube overlords. I'm Norman Marmaduke fan. I love you guys. Catch you later.